Chapter 40 of Baki Rahen has officially released, and not only is the legendary Musashi Miyamoto mentioned, but Yujiro Hanma is now showing Jack Hanma new training techniques. But before I start today's video, if you would like to interact with me, my community, show off your art, drop some memes, talk in general, or maybe even self-promote, then you can join the Discord that can be found in the description box below. But anyway, in the last chapter of Baki Rahen, we got to see Yujiro Hanma threatening Elon Musk and the President of the United States in an absolutely violating and unrepeatable way. Chapter 40 of Baki Rahen, titled Hornet, with the cover of today's chapter being Jack Hanma side-eyeing something. And we are yet again brought back to Jack Hanma's apartment, in which Jack is laying down on his bed, which also does not fit him due to his constantly growing height, with Jack being surrounded by his steroids and PEDs. Jack was laying down and enjoying his recovery, that is, up until a zipping noise was heard from his window. It was a wasp flying around Jack's apartment. Jack had immediately jumped onto his feet from his bed after wondering if he could catch this wasp. The wasp was flying towards Jack, leaving him surprised and stunned. The wasp was attempting to sting Jack, but before the flying insect could attack Jack, he had caught the wasp between his titanium teeth, applying just enough pressure to hold the bug still, but not enough to crush him. But this is when the wasp had exposed his stinger and landed a strike on Jack, and it looks like Pickle's biggest enemy has gotten revenge for him, as Jack had immediately felt the pain of this sting, before he would then proceed to spit the wasp out of his jaws, also launching the wasp out of his window in the process, with even a whoosh sound being heard. And Jack Hanma was then jump scared by none other than the ogre himself, Yujiro Hanma, who had actually snuck into Jack's apartment. Like Miyamoto Musashi, he famously caught a fly between chopsticks. Father. As Jack then began working up a sweat from this jump scare, though apparently the myth falls short of reality, with Musashi Miyamoto being shown with flies flying all around him. But Jack was not even mentally ready for a normal conversation. He was still stuck on the fact that Yujiro had just spawned in his apartment. Wait, when did you? He did not hold the fly by its body, but Musashi rather held the fly by its wings with chopsticks, before then proceeding to rip the fly's wings clean off. Musashi's process would be to catch the fly by its wings and rip. And only once Miyamoto was done is when Musashi's meals would then begin. No, seriously though, when did you? Next time, try to catch the hornet by its wings. But Jack did not exactly like the idea of doing that. Easy way to get stung. It is not a game to play if you are afraid of a simple stinger. And the same exact wasp that Jack had just thrown outside of his apartment window had come back, buzzing more than ever. And now, the wasp was furious, as this hornet has now gained the attention of Yujiro Hanma and Jack, as it flew into the middle of the room. Well, aren't you popular? As Jack then seemed to let out a sly grin. Let's see what you can do. I would love to see you catch this hornet by its wings, father. As Yujiro then let off a slightly annoyed expression. The hornet was facing Yujiro Hanma directly, and Yujiro had locked his eyes onto the bug, before then swiping his finger through the wasp, utilizing his index finger to perfectly decapitate this bug's wings off of his body. Well, isn't that a shame? The thing has no wings left to be caught by, as the wasp was then left on the ground, twitching and now wingless. The hornet had its wings cut perfectly in an instant, with Jack being absolutely stunned and slightly anxious at the time of this. Maybe next time, with Jack being confused. What? Oh, and by the way, tell me, Jack, just what exactly do you know about Hanayama Karu? I believe that Yujiro Hanma is actually trying to somewhat guide Jack, as if Jack manages to harness this training method, invented by Musashi Miyamoto, which is made for speed and precision, Jack could become even stronger than he currently is, mainly because of the fact that Jack's Gaudo goes hand in hand with speed and precision. with Yujiro Hanma also for some reason not actually catching the wasp by the wings himself, and this is actually kind of confusing to me, but I'm assuming that Yujiro is physically too strong to be able to catch the wasp wings between his fingers, as Yujiro's fingers would more likely than not go through the wasp wings. And also, it could be due to a recent change of wraps, but Jack has no blood currently showing. There is no blood coming from his chest, and there are also no blood stains in his bandages, as well as Jack's wounds seeming to have begun scarring, which, if you do not know, is the stage of healing when the wound is almost completely done. And as for the next chapter of Baki Rahen, there will be a break next week, and chapter 41 will release on March 12th in the United States, and the date may vary depending on your region, but I believe the next chapter will be focused more primarily on Karu Hanayama, as we have yet to see just how Hanayama is truly preparing for his battle with Jack, as well as Yujiro Hanma asking Jack just how much he knows about Karu Hanayama, as well as this conversation being the final panel of the chapter. And I believe this fight will take place soon, as Jack looks pretty much healed up. And also at this point, I do not believe that Jack will hold himself up to the handicap that he had promised. And of course, I'm talking about the handicap of not being able to bite and use his Gaudo. And I believe this because of two primary reasons. One, because Jack would do literally anything to win, even going back on his word. If Jack was willing to sacrifice his life in order to win a fight against Kosho, then I'm sure a sentence would not stop Jack from securing that win. And also because Jack seems to be still working on his biting prowess. If Jack truly was not going to utilize his Gaudo, then I'm sure he would have tried to catch the fly with his fingers like Yujiro had said. But Jack hadn't. He had caught the fly with his teeth. And also, this could be some potential foreshadowing for Jack, as I am sure that many of you are aware that manga writers love to foreshadow things. But that is gonna be all for today's video. Let me know in the comment section below, did you enjoy today's chapter? And if you enjoyed today's video and would like to support me, then you can leave a like and subscribe. It's completely free on your end and helps me out way more than you may think. And once again, if you would like to interact with me, my community, show off your art, drop some memes, talk in general, or maybe even self-promote, then you can join the Discord that can be found in the description box below. And also, thank you guys so much for 4,000 subscribers. This channel was just a hobby of mine that I just started working on. And obviously this is not an insane number like 100,000, but I never thought that I would make it this far. But that will be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!